Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I want to tell you something that I want to tell you a long time ago because some of you might misunderstand me. So I think it is necessary to make a video like this and tell you the truth and also tell you some story about me. So let's start. I have been getting some comments and they said that I pretend to be cute to speak bad English. I don't know why they said that because I don't think speak bad English is cute. It's not cute. I never heard people pretend speak bad English, but I heard people pretend speak good English. I think it's embarrassing speak bad English sometimes. Because I had a group project last quarter, I had communication barrier during the group project. I felt embarrassed when I didn't understand what they are saying, and I felt embarrassed when we were doing the written papers and they were typing faster than me. I feel embarrassed that my English is not as good as them because my other group members are English speakers, but I'm not English speakers. Even though I'm not good at English, but I think my English is good enough to communicate and to go to college, but definitely my English is not as good as the native speakers because sometimes they speak really fast and it was hard for me to catch what they are saying. So if you are international students or you started speaking English after you are 20, you probably understand the situation. Even though you spent so many years in the English-speaking country, you still feel like your English just not as good as the native speaker. I definitely didn't and don't pretend to speak bad English. There are a lot of big YouTubers, they all speak good English, not bad English. So why I speak bad English? Because I knew that if you speak good English, you will make better videos. You can see that those YouTubers speak good English and they are really good at reviewing the product and it's very interesting. So I have been doing my best to improve my speaking skills to be more comfortable talking in front of camera. You probably noticed that my English is getting better now because I'm getting comfortable talking in front of camera and I'm getting comfortable to speak with you guys. And I'm getting comfortable to tell my feelings because this is the truth. When I'm nervous or when I'm shy or angry, my English will get worse. I didn't speak in my old videos because I didn't feel comfortable and my English was not very fluently, but I was good enough to communicate in daily life. I started speaking English when I was 20 years old. Before the 20 years, I started in China. Let me show you. So those are the proofs. So my mom had those done before we moved to the US because we needed a lot of documents before to immigrated to the US. Before we immigrated, my mom had people to certify those documents of my education. So I can show you that I went to school in China. So this is a proof that I studied in the elementary school for 6 years, and this one is in Nanjing City, Jiangsu Province. This is where I lived 20 years. This is a proof that in the junior high school graduation. And let's see, and this one, oh, it's my mom's. And this one is my college that I went in China. And so this is, my major was in the construction engineering technology. So before I immigrated to the US, my major was engineering in construction. I can't believe that my major was construction. Is to build houses. So those are some of my education I did in China. You probably know in China the course of English is a required subject that every student needs to learn. So I did learn English in school, but you know what? Most English we learned were prepared for the test. So I knew some words, but I didn't how to use it in the real life. I just know how to use it in the test. If you went to school in China, you probably know what I'm saying right now, because the English the students learn are for the tests, not for the speaking. I'm not really sure what the situation right now, but 6 years ago, students learn English for the test. For the exams, they rarely speak out. They rarely to communicate with foreigners, or they rarely communicate in English every day. They just write, take the test, and to answer the questions. That's I was doing at school. And by then my English was not good, so the grade I got C. So for the listening and writing and reading, but there was no speaking exams at school. If I moved to the US when I was younger or when I was a teenager, my English probably better than right now, because I could have gone to the primary school, middle school, high school in the United States, and then my English was definitely better. So the real time when I went to the college in the United States was when I was 21. So I stayed at home for 1 year, and the next year I went to the college. And before I immigrated to the US, I also went to an English institute. So this is a place where students can practice speaking skill, and the teachers are foreign teachers. So I learned to speak out English rather than writing. And I also learned the common English phrases. My dad bought me this one here. This is Easy English. So most of the books I bought was for speaking English, and some materials are for the test. Actually, there are a lot of Chinese students. They are good at reading and writing, but their speaking may not be good, and this is called 哑巴英语, and I translated into English, which is dumb English, which means people who can write and read English but they don't know how to speak English. So those are the English book for speaking English, not academic English. So the phrases are very simple. I used to memorize those phrases just for I can communicate with native speaker without saying Chinglish. Like this one. I'm not sure if you can say this. So this one is I'm flattered. I used to memorize those words. So those phrases are very common in daily life. So I used to memorize. But if I don't use them, I will forget. So sometimes even though I learned the word before, and it's likely I'll forget after. There are a lot of easy phrases, but I may not know how to use them. For example, I have had it. I have had it. Oh, I didn't know I have had it has the similar meaning of I can't take it anymore. Yes, there are a lot of phrases like this. It's very simple, but I may not know of them. And there are a lot of more books that are speaking English books that I bought. And those are the phrases, and I will look how to use the word. Even though those words are super easy, but I've never learned at school, because the words I learned at school are academic words, but not those daily life words. So easy English. So this book is spoken English for campus, spoken English for daily life, spoken English for leisure, spoken English for daily life, spoken English for travel. So I used to memorize Look. Even though I learned those phrases before, but I think I forgot most of them. If I don't use it, I'll forget. And this book is English phrases. I didn't remember often. And this one is 10,000 English words. And this one is for those English tests. And those, I can show you those words I learned before. And as I said before, I didn't remember often. And here are the two books that I used for taking the IELTS exam. So what is IELTS? So the word IELTS, so IELTS, stands for International English Language Testing System. So this is for people who want to go abroad and they need to take the test, and then they get approved to study abroad. I did take the test. I thought I needed the score from IELTS, but actually I didn't need IELTS in order to go to college here. This is my test that I took. So in this test there are 4 parts: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So they will test 4 parts of your English skills. The total score is 9 for each option, and the score I got was listening I got 6, and reading 5, writing 6, and my speaking is 5.5. And my overall score is 5.5. And this is the passing score. Even though I studied so hard and memorized those phrases, those words in order to get good grades for this test, but I still got 5.5, and this is a passing score. I didn't do very good. Look, this is the notes I take. I used to memorize all those words. Look. I took a lot of notes. However, I think I remembered at least 50%. I forgot some words. So there are 4 parts to determine whether this person is good at English or not. The 4 parts are listening, reading, writing, and speaking. So sometimes if I can read the word, I may not know the meaning. And sometimes if I know the meaning, I may not know how to spell it. And some people misunderstand that I pretend to speak bad English, but actually it's not. For example, the class. I remember that some people made fun of me. They said that I pretend I don't know the word, and I did learn the word in the past, and I did memorize the word, but at that moment I forgot the word. I forgot. This is normal to forget one word, right? Sometimes I did forget vocabularies. This is like when you memorize those words and you take the test, you might miss some words. And if you didn't use the word for months or for years, and you will forget. And for another video, I remember people made fun of me. It's the word diffuser. For the word diffuser, and I definitely didn't know the word before. Before that video, I never had a diffuser, so I didn't know what diffuser was. And these examples, a lot of people making fun of it. And still, I can still see some comments under that video. It's the word dentist. I regret I didn't cut the footage off. I thought I showed the true side of me. People were happy about it, but they misunderstand it. And when he talked about something, I might miss some words. I might miss the sentence he spoke, and I just catch the word dentist, and I didn't know what he was talking about, the dentist. I said dental place. This is actually Chinglish. I knew that was Chinglish, but I spoke out. Even though I lived in the US for 6 years, I still speak Chinglish, and this is who am I. So in the future, to prevent people misunderstood me, I will cut off the footage in the future every time when I ask people what's the meaning of the words. I threw away a lot of English notes I did in the past, but I still have some, like those notes. I also used to print out the spoke English from the internet. Many people say that English is an easy language, but it doesn't mean I know all the words, and it doesn't mean I will speak like a native speaker. I think I will speak like this for my whole life, and I will just learn more and more vocabularies. And English is not easy to learn for Chinese because English and Chinese is very different. I could make a video of it, what the differences between English and Chinese. For me, I think Japanese is an easy language for Chinese, but just the written part. Because most written Japanese is borrowed Chinese. For many Asian international students, most of them prefer speak their mother language. When I was in college, most Chinese hang out with Chinese, and most Koreans hang out with Koreans, and most Japanese hang out with Japanese. The Chinese will speak the Chinese, and the Korean will speak the Korean, and the Japanese speak the Japanese. I was different. I have some Chinese friends and also Asian friends from other countries, and also some friends from here. When I was at college, it was also hard for me to write papers. I spent 5 times more than the native speakers because I will need to use translator, and I will also need to use the book because they have some phrases that I can use, like the format of writing and the common phrases and academic phrases and academic words. Spoken English and writing English is very different because I need to use more complicated words in my papers. And also all colleges and universities have the writing lab, and you can take your paper to the teachers and they will read and correct your paper. So it's very helpful. I went there a lot. I remember when I was taking like English 101 or English 201, I went to the writing lab like 4 times a week just to have different people to read my essay and correct my mistakes. Also for other classes, I also went to the writing lab to have professors to correct my mistakes. They were very helpful, so I got good grades on my papers. I also have those DVDs. I used to watch English DVDs and listen to the English. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you misunderstood me, I hope you understand now, and I hope everybody have a great life and doing something that you are enjoying. Bye bye, I will see you in next video.